So
congratulations on successfully completing 1 year, and I hope that you go tenfold. And you will definitely achieve success.
thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, and God bless you.
She is also a strong advocate for social inclusion.
The executives of Prestige Caregivers, they are graduates, friends and family, invited guests, present ladies and gentlemen, our media partners. Assalamu alaikum, good morning and Nisambula Vinaka. Sorry, I need some caregivers help myself. But anyways, it's a pleasure to be here in a room full of young men, I see a man too, young men and women who have the desire to serve their communities in choosing a career that is sort of most sought after now in our communities, and that's caregiving. Not only locally, but I know some of you must be eyeing jobs overseas because there's a lot of demand for your profession. And I thank the institution, the executives for making this a reality for us here in Fiji. So congratulations on your training, on achieving the knowledge that is required to conduct yourself in providing the best quality care to those who are in need. Let me begin with this. The past 2-3 years have been very difficult for all of us. Now we have slowly come out of that, the COVID situation. And in Fiji, sometimes we are burdened with a lot of disasters, naturally and man-made. Cyclones, floods, and then COVID was the icing on the cake. Many families suffered, many seniors suffered, many disabled people suffered. Many families lost their jobs. Some are still struggling to find a job, but there is always hope. We are on the road to recovery, and with God's blessing, we will fully bounce back on our feet. But what I want to say is that during COVID, it sort of gave us time to reflect back on what we want in life, what we want for our children, what we want for our country. And there's one thing that I've always believed in, that we need to work in partnerships, no matter what, education, social work. In any work in a country, it is important to collaborate with stakeholders. And your prestigious institution, Prestige Caregivers, I think is a very important partner that my ministry is going to collaborate with in future. We'd like to fully support this because there is so much demand. We have 3 aged care facilities in Fiji. One here in Suva, one in Lautoka, and one recently renovated in Lambasa. But that's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. The demand for people needing home care, community-based care is so much. I'm going to share a story. I hope my Facebook friend wouldn't mind. Yesterday I received a call early in the morning. It made me cry too. From a young lady who lives in the West. She started crying when I picked the phone up. And I was wondering what happened. I thought she was a case of domestic violence. I said, okay, hold yourself, talk to me. So she slowly introduced herself to me and she said, Madam, I have a 76-year-old father. He's just got released from the hospital. The ambulance has dropped him home, but unfortunately, I can't care for him. You know, at first I got very angry when children said they can't look after the seniors. I got very angry. But then I said, what is the problem? She said, Madam, I can't even lift him up to change his diapers. I can't put him on his wheelchair. So that is the reality. And there are many families across the country and across the globe who need you. And in order for you to do your job, you have to be very honest and you have to be very passionate about it. If you see this as a way to earn employment, of course you'll get paid for the job, but you won't get that satisfaction. This is a job that probably requires an inner calling. You want to care for somebody who's not your parent, who's not your grandparent, who's not your relative, who's not related to you by blood. So this actually is probably the highest of any jobs that anybody can have. In your own homes, please start in your own homes. Teach your children to value our seniors. Teach your children to include people living with disabilities in family life. Talk to them, spend time with them. I recently went through a medical scare, and I realized that we all need that in-house care. Why? Because everybody is so busy with their lives. Our grown-up children have a life of their own. Our sons and daughters have a life of their own. They have their work. So anybody who is sick or old probably becomes a burden in the family. And when I look at the residents in our homes, the 3 homes, I have no single bed. No single bed. And a lot of our carers are also migrating to Australia and New Zealand because there's demand there. So what is the solution for this? One of the solutions is promoting the work that you do. And some of you have worked in our homes as attachee carers, and I've had very good stories about you people. And my director yesterday told me that the trainees that were attached to our homes did a good job of it. So just don't do the job because you are on training to get a good grade or to graduate. Do it because you've chosen this. And you're very young. I see the room is full of young men and women. Very young. And what you're going to encounter could be angry patients, very sickly, bedridden patients, angry family members. You may not be able to fulfill all the expectations. You'll get frustrated at times. You get frustrated. You have to lift somebody up, change the diapers, talk to him, feed him or her. But do it with all that you have. Give it all that you can do. You know, Mother Teresa said, sometimes what we do may not be enough for the society, for the people, but do it anyway. Whatever you have to do, do it with full heart. So today is about you people, and let me give you some figures from the Fijian census 2017. So according to the Fiji census in 2017, Fijians aged 60 plus comprise 10.6% of the total population. 93,745 older persons, while persons living with disability make up 113,595 Fijians. So where are these So where are these 113,000 people, Fijians, who have some form of disability? They're in our schools, they're in our families, they're in our communities. Some are cared for, some are neglected, some are even on our streets. You will see that. Every time you go on the streets, the city streets or town streets, you'll see somebody on a wheelchair begging. What is the solution? The solution is to ensure that our families' foundations are strong. The family network is so strong that we feel for the seniors. We feel for the disabled in our families, and we don't neglect them. So through this ministry, we are assisting senior citizens with a monthly social pension scheme, disability allowance, bus fare subsidies. Like I said, governments can't do it alone. I have a figure here. Sorry, I lost my hand. So we have close to, Chueli, can you come and help me? No, I'm not disabled. I said I was disabled, but just going through a medical thing. So anyways, that's not important. But you must know that the Fijian government has taken steps to address this issue. We recently renovated our Golden Age home in Lambasa at a cost of $4.2 million. The next on our list is the Lotoka one. So if I can use this to announce, we will be closing the Natambua Age home very shortly. We will be transferring our residents to either Suva or Lambasa, because that house is either going to go under heavy renovation. It's a very old one, 1850, I think 1850s. The Lotoka old people's home was built as a school. So since then, due to neglect and probably not proper maintenance, it's not in a good state. So we have decided to close it down in the near future, and we will not put the residents back in their homes. We'll take them to either Lambasa or to Suva. So who knows, you may get a chance to work in the ministry, and we look forward to having you because of the demand, right? So, so again, coming back to what I believe in, I think you should all believe in that. Caring for our elderly, vulnerable, poor, sick, disabled, is at the heart and core of sort of the values that we should hold. It's a right thing to do. So Yesterday we had a meeting with the Suva Retailers Association about what to do with the street dwellers. In Suva we have close to about 100 plus people who beg and live on the streets. So we are trying to find a solution. We will find a solution. But for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, in Fiji we're going to have a night shelter where those who do not have a home, actually there's no reason why anybody should not have a home in Fiji. That's it. There should be nobody on our streets and nobody to say that they don't have a home. Unfortunately, they have been pushed out by their families, neglected by their children. So we're going to have in the next, I think today, we're signing a contract with a service provider where they will be responsible for providing bed and breakfast to those living on our streets. We're going to start off with Suva, but initially, God willing, we'll move down to Lotoka as well. So that's the reality of it, and that's where you people come in. So even if you have chosen this career as a caregiver, as a job, please, when you are out in the community, stress the fact that families must take responsibility. Families must teach their children to respect and care for every member, whether he or she is able-bodied, whether he or she is young or old or whatever. Because we don't want to have a society. We don't want to have a society in the next 10 years where we continue to abuse and neglect our elderly. There's a lot of abuse going on in the homes. I won't hide away from that. Disabled people, a lot of abuse. Provision for food, basic medical care, because you've got to understand, it's not, what should I say? It's not easy. It's not easy to deal with seniors. But you've got to understand that one day you and I will also be there. So teach your children what goes around comes around. Very simple thing. If every parent teaches his or her child to respect the grandparents, I think we're going to solve that problem. If you can share your bed and a little bit of food that you eat, you don't have to put them on the streets. You don't have to put them in our homes. They cry, they long for families. So many men and women in our old people's home, when I go, I've been there for the past 14 years, so they know me. I know them by face. They cry. So during Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, the family will come, see and go. But what about the rest? So the government takes care of them. But again, with the strong partnerships with other stakeholders, the faith-based organizations, other NGOs, and now your institution, we are going to have people like you. I think 70, 79? Yes. Yes, 79 of you. Just imagine how much difference you can make in your own communities, right? So please go out there. I'm sure you'll get the God's blessing. Of course, you'll earn money too, but regardless of that, be human, be good, and teach every person that you meet while you are conducting yourself in this career that we need to be human. We need to be caring. We need to be passionate. And without compassion, without empathy, I don't think your job is going to be right. You have to feel what they feel. And sometimes people say, you can't understand other people's pain and feeling if you don't go through it. But just remember, we never know when we are going to be in their shoes. Right, so congratulations to all of you for the time and sacrifice. Congratulations to all of you for choosing this career, and welcome to my world. Thank you.
To the students, to our MC, Madam Vimo, and a special thank you to our dear chief guest, Madam Minister. Thank you so much for your time and your presence here today in the midst of all the caregivers. I believe in caregiving because my heart is full of compassion for my elderly. I lost my father when I was 16, and my mom still lives with me. And with that envision that I want to take care of my parents, I went on a mission last year to go to the communities. Because I'm a mother, I know that it's difficult for mothers to go and attend a disciplined classroom from 8 to 4, when we have to cook meals, clean the house, be a mom, be a wife. So I said, we want to, in the pandemic, we took this fierce step of going into communities and training the individuals in the communities as caregivers. We started off with my hometown, Rekireki, and everybody around me said, "You are targeting the smallest town of Fiji." And I said, yes, I'm a woman full of sentiments and emotions. I'm a caregiver. So I'll start where I have the memories of my grandparents, memories of my father. And I started a journey that has been already 1 year today as I'm standing. I started the journey in Rekireki with 27 participants. My vision was that sometimes I'm talking about rural community because originally I'm from Rekireki, like I said. So I grew up with my mom looking after my grandmother and our parents looking after our grandparents. So with that vision, I wanted every daughter-in-law to know how to take care of their in-laws, their moms, a daughter to know how to take care of their mom in the right way, using the right body mechanics like we've learned. So it was quite a journey. And today I'm so glad that Prestige has, come forward and held so many hands and helped so many individuals. Thank you to Madam Minister's Ministry for recognizing us, a small institution that is going into homes and training people so that we can hold hands of our parents with faith and strength that we know how to hold them when they fall. So yes, like Madam said earlier, that we Fijians should be able to take care of our fellow parents and our elders. We've learned so much from them. PCA is all about community care. Yes, home care is great. If you go abroad for greener pastures, that's great. But the vision of PCA was going into homes and strengthening individuals so we can look after our parents at home without thinking twice about them. So today I stand here very proud and I stand here with so much gratitude that we are able to also put these people into employment. And as the introduction said, we have got Madam Jyoti here with us. She looks after our Prestige Care Agency where all of my students who graduate, who wish to enroll with us, they enroll with us, and we supply these caregivers into homes who need care. And these students, they are looked after by us by signing a contract with the family, a formal official contract with the family, and also the caregivers sign a contract with the Prestige Caregivers Agency where we send people into homes and strengthen families so that they are at work in peace, that their parents are looked after properly. So with these words, this was a little background about Prestige Caregivers. Swati Nair is not Prestige Caregivers. My team is Prestige Caregivers. We started this journey with 3 women. Today I have 5 women, a bit increased in number, but we always empower ourselves, say women run the world, so women run Prestige. When I say women run Prestige, it also means handling those 320 kg beds and equipment that we carry everywhere from town to town. So that's the power of a woman, that's the power of a mother, and that's the power that we can do anything if we want it. So once again with this small speech, I'd like to say congratulations to each and everyone present here today. As you take your certificate, this is not the end, this is the beginning of that journey. This is the beginning of the faith that you will be able to look after your parents and somebody else's parents. That you will be able to hold their hand with empathy and compassion that you've been embedded through us. So thank you so much for trusting PCA and joining us. And I'd like to once again thank my powerful women team for always standing with Prestige. Our dear MC, Madam Vimo, and Madam Christine, Madam Krishika, Neha, Jyoti, every one of us, we all make this team, and we've been working tirelessly so that you smile. I know we yell a bit, but look at the results today. So thank you once again.
To the Honorable Chief Guest, Madam Rosy Akbar, and to the Director of Prestige Caregiving Academy, and to the talented, skillful facilitators, and to my fellow batch 4 graduates of Suva. Vinaka, Namaste, Assalamualaikum, Foexia. It is with great honor and privilege to be standing here today to say a few words on behalf of my fellow classmates. It seems like it was only yesterday when we first entered this Metro Gym Hall. Through those doors, 10 days later, we stand in the same room full of knowledge, embodied with the basic of caregiving and the lifelong friendship. I, for one, have learned a lot throughout this journey. And to the kind, working, talented facilitators, thank you. To Madam Swati, you have been a mentor to all of us. Listening to your stories, it has been inspiration to all of us. You have inspired us to further our studies and take on a new journey, which has encouraged us to look after our elderly, old people at home. And to Madam Vimo, you're a shining armor to all of us. You're very vocal. I know sometimes we eat your head, but thank you for always being there for us. And to Madam Christine, you're like a butterfly. So humble, you flaunt yourself slowly, soft-spoken, and a very soft-hearted young lady. And last but not the least, my favorite. I always save the last one for a better one. Our black pearl, Madam Krishika. I know people think of you as a very stubborn young lady, but I always call you my black pearl. A shining young lady, very vocal. I know that we sometimes hit your head, but stubbornness is too good from you. My closing statement, though I'd wish could be like Peter Pan, but like that a saying, everything must come to an end. We leave this place full of knowledge, skills, on the basic knowledge of caregiving. We leave this place again a step closer to our goals and dreams. But importantly, we leave this place as people. We will be making a change in people's lives. May God bless us all. Vinaka Vakali.